Hello all! In this video, I want to explore the spread of the COVID pandemic through a computer simulation. Most of us have had or know someone who has had contact with a positive case of COVID during the past couple of years. That is why I wanted to create a simulation and see how the spread of the infection can be represented in computer graphics. One of the first steps was to create an environment where subjects could move around freely. I divided the space into 4 main areas. The home area, which is where subjects are created and also where any infected subject is going to spend some time during the quarantine. The park area. This is an open space where collisions between infected subjects are less likely to occur. Then we have the danger area. This is an enclosed space with lots of barriers which lead to high ratios of collision. Also, the authorities recommend to avoid this closed space, so subjects with low level of rule compliance are going to be frequent there. Finally, I created the hospital area, which is a space for infected subjects whose health level has decreased a lot due to the infection. This simulation begins with subjects being created in the home area. There is an initial ratio of infected subjects which can be controlled via a constant on the code. The higher the amount of subjects, the more likely it is that the COVID infection spreads rapidly. Once subjects are created, they get assigned to an initial destination based on their profile. If a subject tends to comply with the rules, it is going to be destinated to the park area, whereas a non-compliant subject will likely head towards the danger area. I also wanted to include the mask and vaccine variables. Subjects following the health recommendation are going to wear a mask when out in the street, whereas non-compliers are going to be walking without a mask. Similarly, the vaccine status of each subject is tied to their compliance level. Each subject can be identified by their colors. A green subject is one that is not wearing a mask or is not vaccinated. A light blue is one that either wears a mask or is vaccinated. A dark blue subject is one that is wearing a mask and also have been fully vaccinated. A red subject is currently infected. I also wanted to include the asymptomatic variable based on probability. This affects infected users which don't know that they are actually infected. These are dangerous subjects as they continue with their normal lives and contribute to the spread of the infection. When 2 subjects collide with each other, there is a block of logic that gets executed to determine if the virus has passed from one subject to another. If none of the subjects are infected, then there is no chance to spread the virus. However, if one of them is actually infected, then the simulation has to decide whether to spread the virus or not, based on its subject profile. A subject that got infected is rapidly redirected to a home coordinate, where it's going to spend some time recovering from the infection. If everything goes well, the subject passes the infection and moves on with its life. But there are also cases where subjects might get ill due to the infection and their health level gets compromised. These are the ones that are going to be redirected to the hospital area. The simulation is based on probability levels, which can be modified. This allows you to play around with multiple scenarios. It is not a perfect simulation, of course, and sometimes subjects have very odd behaviors. However, it was fun to code it. I had plenty of time to work on the simulation as I was staying at home for a week passing myself the COVID quarantine. I feel much better now, so I consider myself a dark blue subject with its health level to its maximum.